Welcome to F Your Life Up, a podcast about what happens when you blow up the life you had to build the one you actually want. I'm your host, Sam, and with me as always, Katie and Crystal. Hello. And Katie has brought on a very special guest for you all today, and I'm going to let her take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. So Wendy Miller is with us, and today's conversation is really all about betting on yourself. Now, Wendy is an Emmy-winning producer, writer, best-selling author, public speaker, creator of Card to Believe, so much, but most importantly, has recently gone viral on LinkedIn, the place where I say LinkedIn is where hopes and dreams go to die. And Wendy, I hope you take this as a great compliment. I hate everyone on LinkedIn, and you might be one of the people I don't hate. So congratulations.
Thank you. You know, I saw the three of you, and for a second I thought this might be an intervention, but I guess it's not.
Well, I want to make sure that everyone knows that today we are going to be discussing your pushback on, people telling folks over the age of 45 that they're old, that they need to pivot, that they need to kind of go away quietly, that you had your career. You're going to help us understand why that is wrong and how we should be dealing with that. But most importantly, I really do kind of want to step back, reflect on your career. I highlighted so many great parts. Let's talk about your career, some of the great things that brought you all those Emmys and cool awards. And also there's a fun tie-in, ladies, to Playboy.
What?
All right, Wendy, take it away. Give us the crash course on your
I
history.
gotta do this? Okay.
Yeah, you do.
So I'm originally from Chicago. I worked for the Oprah show. I helped launch a channel there, moved to LA where I worked at Game Show Network, then went to NBC, then went to the Oxygen Network. Along the way, I wrote a bunch of really funny things and spent a lot of time with some really talented people. I produced a lot of pilots. I went to NBC again and I produced some specials for TV Land on the history of African Americans in television. I did a lot of really, really fun stuff and went back to NBC to work on a very big project, one of the most terrible shows in TV history, which was the Jay Leno at 10 o'clock show. And that was a $10 million sprint that I was sort of creative leader on that, on the marketing, not the show. Which was a complete disaster. My mother even called me after it was over and yelled at me, which I thought was really funny. Anyway, Playboy TV was looking to do a rebrand to attract couples, which is coded words for women. And so they needed someone who could launch a network, produce shows, oversee shows, knew what women would want, and didn't have a lot of trouble or difficulty with adult content. And that is not a long list of people. It was basically me and an iPhone app. And the iPhone app turned it down, so I took the job. And I spent 7.5 years at Playboy TV creating shows for couples. That was probably one of the best times of my career. I left Playboy TV and went to Hallmark because
I love Playboy.
That makes sense.
Hallmark.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
That makes sense.
I'd watch that Christmas.
Oh yeah, and I was there for a couple of years, and then COVID hit. And during the pandemic, a friend of mine gave me an Oracle deck, and she said, if you ever have questions, you can ask the oracles and pull a card. And I was like, oh, thank you. And then it occurred to me that I am not the type of person who gets my life advice from voices in the clouds. All of my important life advice comes from my gay best friends. So I created a deck called Ask Your Gay BFF, sold hundreds of them, started a business, and made a lot of mistakes. And 2 years later, I've been showing at cat shows and on amazing events, and I'm going to be at one this weekend. I was at one last weekend. I have 4 decks right now available, and I'm developing 3 more. I've got stickers and t-shirts, and it's like I literally have created a career out of being a goofball and a weirdo, and it's really, really, really rewarding.
Well, listen, we all need that. We all need a little weirdo in our life. So congratulations, you're our official resident weirdo then. I definitely want to dig into the cards a little bit more and these other projects. But and even if we have time later, I would love to play. You have this great game. Was it Playboy or Hallmark? So I'd love to kind of dig into that. But before we get to the super silly fun stuff, I want to get to the stuff that the podcasters want to hear and the betting on yourself and what's going on in the career market right now. We are three ladies that are kind of flipping our lives and effing things up, and I'm hoping that we will gain some inspiration from you. One of the things in following you on LinkedIn, first off, congratulations. You went viral on LinkedIn. That's a real big deal, right?
I mean, I guess I never thought of myself as a thought leader, but apparently I'm an official thought leader, whatever the hell that means, but I am one.
Well, what I've noticed, the consistency in your posts, the algorithm loves you. And, you know, we've all been fed this concept that life is about climbing to the top, right? That's what you're trying to talk about, is that life is about climbing to the top, becoming the fullest. And this is a quote from one of your things: becoming the fullest, most realized, successful version of ourselves. Then you finally arrive at the perfect, complete you. Done, success, yay! Except there is no such thing as arriving. It is a misconception. Wendy, please, expand on that for us, because it needs to be reinforced in our brains. We never arrive. You just die eventually.
Yeah, and as women, you know, you're never good enough. So you always have to be better, and you always have to be cuter, and you always have to look younger and smaller and thinner and whatever. And so, yeah, it's this giant climb that we've told, you know, you work hard, you climb, and you get to the top. Well, yeah, there's no top. And this whole complete construction of working for companies, it is Stockholm syndrome, okay? Everybody thinks, oh man, I got to work for another company, I've got to be taken care of. But that's the biggest lie ever, because they don't care about you, and you could be wiped out by just some bean counter coming in saying, oh, we got to save 30,000 in this department. All right, let's get rid of this department. I mean, it's just incredibly unstable. And so I'm trying to encourage people to get out of this job market. And that's what made me go viral. I put up a post saying, stop looking for work. Stop, because you're not going to find work. A ton of the job postings that you see on job boards right now aren't real. They're fake. Yes.
Really?
That is crazy. This is crazy.
What's the purpose? Just to get information from people, or
LinkedIn, right? And you get this endorphin rush when you see, hey, I just started at such and such. And you're like, ooh, this person's got really good career advice. Let me check the career stuff. It keeps you there. It keeps you engaged. Some of the posts are just ghost posts by companies that put them up there just mining for perhaps future people. Others are posts that are put there by companies to terrify the people who have those jobs and to keep them quiet and not complaining. Some of those posts are just compliance posts because the jobs have been filled by people on the inside, but they have to still advertise them. Somebody said, I don't know where I saw this, up to 75% of the posts you see on job boards are not real. And so,
well, I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. It's also it's a way of free advertising, because if Aloe Yoga says that this job is available and people see the logo and they get really excited, they just got free advertisement on LinkedIn.
That's right.
It comes back to marketing dollars at the end of the day, right?
I didn't even think about that, but that's right, because people want these these jobs sent to them in their inbox, and so suddenly you see, oh, this yoga place, oh, this brand, this thing, oh, Lululemon, whatever, and it's like it's free advertising for them. So there's no way the people who are running these job boards are going to clean this up, because it's making a lot of money for them. And unfortunately, what it is doing for women of a certain age, men of a certain age, and older, it's completely destroying our self-esteem, because people keep applying for hundreds of jobs for which they are perfectly qualified, and they hear nothing. And a part of that is the whole ATS and AI, which is now vetting resumes, and there are biases built in, and there's a big lawsuit with Workday right now, because people are like, why am I getting rejected in 5 minutes for a job that I'm perfect for? But they're seeing your age, they're seeing whatever, and they're immediately like, nope. And so now people are using AI to try to game AI, and the whole thing is just ludicrous, and it's broken. And a lot of people don't realize this, so so many people think that they're alone in this, or that they're blacklisted. I posted yesterday about how you're not on a blacklist, and some woman said, oh my God, I thought I was. And hundreds of people have said to me, I thought I was the only person going through this. And suddenly I became the voice for this giant community of people. And all I'm doing is telling the truth. And I'm not a career counselor. I'm not a coach. I'm not a specialist. I'm barely allowed to drive a car. But for some reason, I'm the only person that's telling truth in this world right now. And it's really important for people to hear.
Well, one of the things that that truth is so important, and the rest of us are scared to say it, because I'm still on the hamster wheel, applying for those jobs and thinking that I need to work for the man and corporate America. And I'm afraid to post those things because, what if the recruiter looks at my LinkedIn post or my Instagram and sees me in a bikini? So there's like, the rest of us are paralyzed and scared. So like, you are our voice.
Well, thank
Wendy.
you. And it's a valid fear. And that's what everybody is saying. It's like, I'm so glad you have the courage to say this. Look, no one's going to hire me. Even though I've got a trillion bona fides and I'm probably more talented now than I was when I was 35, no one is going to hire someone as old as me, especially a woman, especially in the TV industry. So I have nothing to lose. And plus, I've decided to start my own company. I'm betting on myself. And that's what I need. And that's what's working for me. So go ahead, recruiters. You know, Katie, during the pandemic, somebody at Disney was leaving, and so they recommended me to take their job. And a Disney recruiter called me. She saw my background at Playboy, and for the first 25 minutes of the call, she was talking about her sex life. Now, I'm a certified sexologist, so I get a lot of questions about sex, and I used to speak on panels, and I used to be a regular guest at Sexual Health Expo and all these other things, and I hosted a podcast about sex, and she's talking to me about all the sex stuff, and I'm kind of like, can we talk about the job? And so then I get to the job, and the two people who are interviewing me are like the most downtrodden people in the world, and they go, why do you want to work here? And I said, well, I need a job. And they said, you're doing what we want to do. And I said, well, just so you know, that doesn't pay very well. But literally, people do not want to hire older people who have been around and seen things because they think we're either unmanageable or we can't figure out JIRA or whatever. So I was never going to get hired. It's over for me in that system, which is fine because that system is some bullshit. So.
I was going to say the only jobs that I've been hearing people getting hired for recently are usually a connection. It's somebody that you've been networking with, and it's so impossible to just apply for a job and actually get it.
Absolutely.
Anymore.
That is the biggest mistake you can make. If you see a job somewhere, find out anyone you know who works there who can get you into a person, because putting your resume in that shredder is just, it's going to go nowhere. It's going to go nowhere.
Yeah, the LinkedIn shredder.
Wendy, tell me about this magical word that went viral. Is it DONEMPLOYED? DONEMPLOYED. So, yeah, tell us about this. Where did this come from?
I was writing a post, and I was just like, I'm like, you're not unemployed, and I wrote, you're DONEMPLOYED, and then I was like, oh, DONEMPLOYED, and I'm like, what is DONEMPLOYED? DONEMPLOYED means you're done with being employed by other people, and you DONEMPLOYED yourself. And so it's all about taking your career into your own hands. Because if you put your future in someone else's hands, you ain't got no future. And I am encouraging everyone to figure out what their thing is, how they can turn that into some sort of income generating job for them, and to be DONEMPLOYED, to be done with the system. And that took off. And now I'm selling DONEMPLOYED t-shirts and mugs, and I've made a DONEMPLOYED deck. I mean, it's just fascinating. And I take my job as the voice of this group very seriously because no one else is speaking up. So I'm happy to put myself out there and take all of the bullets. And I take it very seriously. So it's just really rewarding for me that people reach out and say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because for everyone, well, what the hell am I supposed to do? I get 100. I thought I was alone. And when people say that, it's like, it's such a compliment, and it makes me feel good because I know that I'm helping people, and that's what I want to be doing.
one of the follow-ups I'd like to have on that is, sure, okay, great. So we're not going to get hired anywhere else. We need to figure out our own business, if you will. But that takes money, Wendy. Like, that is self-funding, and that's very scary. I know, to me personally and to others. So any advice to tell people how to tiptoe into this and not go broke, or go ahead and spend the money? Or I know a guy who has t-shirts in his trunk. Call Wendy and she'll get you a discount.
You're absolutely right. It is very scary. And some people are like, well, what the hell am I supposed to do for my health insurance? Or, because, yeah, you can spend a lot of money starting a business, but you can also do it incrementally. You don't have to go all in. You can find something that is, paying your bills, hopefully, whatever that is. And on the side, you could start building something else. And then hopefully that will tilt and the something else will turn into something bigger. Listen, I interviewed a woman today who started a donut business with $500 in her kitchen and had 20 wholesale clients within a year. Like, she blew it up. And just because she loved donuts, she was a vegan. She couldn't find anyone making vegan donuts where she lived. So she found the blue ocean, right? And she went in there and she created the thing. And she definitely had someone else to help her. She had a husband, so some of the bills were getting paid. But if that's not the case, and it's really not the case for most people can't just throw caution to the wind and try something new. But if you try it incrementally and not go all in, unless you have the wherewithal to go all in. So yeah, it's very hard and it's very scary. And I don't recommend people taking the last money that they have and, trying to open a origami store, even though that's might be really, really fun. You've got to do things incrementally, see what the business is like, see if you even like the business, and then, not leverage everything you have. It's scary, and you have to believe in yourself. But whether you can or you can't, either one you tell yourself is true. So I just went all in because I thought, this is what makes me happy. My dad said, just bet on yourself, always bet on yourself. And is my company profitable? Yeah. Is it hugely profitable? Not yet, but it will be. And I couldn't be happier.
I'm so excited for you, Wendy. And as somebody who's going from a W-2 job myself into entrepreneurship, I'm scared. I haven't had to kind of bet on myself like that. And I know that you wrote about, why you should always choose things that terrify you. Can you break that down for me? Give me some supporting words to make me feel okay with this terror that I feel as I'm about
Well,
to
first of
embark
all,
on
and I
this.
wrote this the other day, this is an opportunity wrapped in terror. So you got to get past the terror. But, I know it's scary, and I know that a lot of people can't really see this happening, but you have to look at the alternative. You have to look at, okay, what are my options? Are my options to keep chasing after a job that could erase me at any time, or to do this thing that I've always wanted to do? And it's not going to be easy. Don't ever believe anyone who's on Instagram in their perfect kitchen saying, oh my God, I sold 400 sweaters today. This is so easy. That's all, that's fake, right? That's all completely fake. So first of all, don't compare yourself to anyone else. Don't look at anyone else's, successes, because most people only post their successes. Very few people post the struggles. Mm-hmm. So the struggles are real, and just embrace it. And the doing thing hard part is because right before I turned 50, I realized I was turning into like an iPod with the same 200 songs on it. And I wasn't doing anything new. I wasn't learning anything new. I wasn't pushing myself because I got really complacent. And so I decided only to do things that terrify me, and only to do things I don't know how to do. And what was so incredibly liberating about that is that, like, I gave away so much power to so many things. Like, I made curtains. Are they perfect? No, but they're groovy. I was afraid of Brussels sprouts. Okay, I'm a grown-ass woman, and but I eat them now. Like, there are all these things that I was checking off, things that I thought were terrifying, and they're not. And so you can have this big pile of things that are terrifying you, but unless you actually go after them, they will always terrify you. And when you do go after them, you may be surprised to find out just how terrifying they're not.
Exposure
I guess,
therapy,
yeah.
Right? Love that.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about betting on ourselves. And I know we kind of touched upon it. I want to twofold. And again, I hate to keep referring to LinkedIn, but I believe there was an aha moment that involved like a card on the ground or something. Definitely want to hear this story. And then, then we'll have some follow-ups. All right, gals?
So when I was getting ready to start my card business, and I was trying to explain, this is something I was trying to explain to my 88-year-old dad. I'm thinking about doing this thing with these cards, and he's looking at me. And my dad was pretty sick at the time. He had a disease that was similar to ALS, so he was bedridden. He had a feeding tube. It was not the best of his world, but he's a very brilliant man, and he had all of his faculties at the very end, and he was very, very proud of that. And I said to him, yeah, I'm thinking about doing this business, but I don't know. It's kind of scary. And he said, always bet on yourself. Always bet on yourself first. And I was like, okay. And I got it. And I started the company, and things were moving along slowly, but in a great direction. And then things kind of got really, really scary. And my dad died last September, and I was pretty sad, and I was kind of directionless one morning. On my morning, I do like a gratitude walk. And I was like, God, I wish my dad was here, because I feel like I know this is successful and I know things are moving, but it's exhausting. And I really wonder if I'm going in the right direction, and I just wish I had some sort of sign. And I looked down on the sidewalk right where I was standing, and I found this, a poker chip.
Wow.
Always bet on yourself. And I was like, wow, I got it, Dad. Okay. And that's where I really just put the pedal to the metal with the LinkedIn posts and the honesty and the helping people and pointing out what's really going on. And literally from going viral on LinkedIn, which is a crazy thing to even admit, my life has changed.
It's so lame. I love it.
It's so corny and ridiculous.
Wait, Sam, I also got choked up. Was that a little tear, Sam?
No, just
Wendy, you got me. That was so the poker
Yeah.
chip, man. That one got me.
I sometimes carry it with me as a talisman, when I'm feeling a little bit lost, or I just kind of want something. I kind of put that in my pocket just to anchor myself, and you look, I've talked about this before, so apologies if you've heard me being interviewed talking about this, but I have had 4 brushes with death. I was diagnosed with a very aggressive form of cancer, which luckily they caught. 2 years after that, I was in a horrible motorcycle accident, and I had a 50% chance of surviving it. I was in a coma. Then I was crossing a street in Chicago, and they had put the traffic going one way and the buses going the other way, and I didn't know that. And I was looking for the traffic, and the traffic stopped, and I went to step off the curb, and somebody from behind me grabbed my collar and yanked me back, and a bus went zooming right by. Like I could feel the breeze off the mirror on the bus on my face. And it would have completely obliterated me. And I turned around to thank the person who yanked me back. And there was nobody there. There was no one there. And I was yanked back.
Okay.
And
now I'm crying.
In January of this year, I was crossing the street, and I got hit by a truck. And I had a broken leg and a torn cartilage. And because I've been walking a lot, I track my pace, and I kind of try to stay at the same pace. And it was one of these things where if I had just looked down, if I had just looked at the sun, if I had just taken a second before stepping off the curb, I would have been underneath a Toyota Tacoma, completely shredded. It missed me, like it hit me, but it missed hitting me square on underneath the tire by a second, maybe even less. So I don't know how many more messages I have to have that this is the one life I have and I shouldn't be ruining it. And I was talking to my Zen teacher, because I have a Zen teacher, and I said, what if this entire life was one day? What if your entire life, all of this, is just one day? Are you having a good day? Did you do what you wanted to do today? Or did you just kind of skirt through and stay fearful and really not try anything? So I've almost died 4 times. I'm not sitting back. I don't have a lot of time left, but apparently I have enough time because someone wanted me here. Times 4.
Wow.
I love all of it. All of it.
Incredible.
All the things.
Incredible.
Love it.
Thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing that. That's so inspiring and such a good reminder that we all need to be appreciative of every day,
Yeah.
every minute.
And just think about
Honest.
all
Yeah.
the fear you're giving away to things that have no power over you. Like, it's like I
Right.
thought back to, like, I went to junior high school with a bunch of psychotic, jerky kids. And I thought back and I was like, wow, I let a bunch of 13-year-olds ruin my life. I mean, I was a 13-year-old at the time, but it's like I gave away so much power to them to allow them to ruin my life. I'm not going to give away my power to this job market right now and to what's happening in this world right now. I'm not. I only have so much power. I'm not giving it away to that. And so I'm focusing on what I can control. And what I can control is my own destiny to a degree and what I'm going to do for work.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question for you, Wendy. Going back to the donut maker and sort of what you have in common with her, what do you think made her successful? Like, how did she get successful? And what is contributing to your success? And how can we take our passions that are maybe still small and build them and make them hugely successful? Like, give us real tools for
Tell us your
for
ways.
how we can make it. Tell us your
I'll do my
ways.
best. I don't think I'm an expert, but I will do my best. The donut interview today, Jenny Raher is her name, and she'll be on my podcast that's coming out soon, the DONEMPLOYED podcast. She said that every day she woke up going, I'm delusional. Like, saying it out loud, I am delusional. But she just kept pushing because she knew that she had a great idea. She knew it. And she just like, I'm delusional. And she just kept pushing. And she spent $500 to launch this business. I mean, it's just an incredible story because she came from a marketing background. So she knew how to market things. So she marketed her business the way she marketed for the advertising agencies and all the other places that she worked. And she marketed by telling a story because she talked about this is her thing, is that people don't buy from companies, they buy from people. It's like, you want to know the people behind what you're buying. Now more than ever, if you look at Instagram, it's got to be authentic. It's got to be people talking about a thing. Obviously, there's a lot of fakery and there's a lot of BS in there, but the more authentic you are, the more vulnerable you are, the more real you are, people will believe you and people will want to support you. And that's exactly what happened at LinkedIn, because I guess in a way I was being vulnerable because I was saying, this is some crazy stuff. And I quit because you can't win this game. And so I think, first of all, know where your North Star is, right? Know what you believe in, know who you're going to listen to, and know what you want to do. And don't listen to everybody, because a lot of people have opinions and they've never done anything in their lives. So only trust the people you trust and don't listen to everybody. Never create anything by committee. I mean, I've worked at enough TV networks to know when they make TV shows from focus groups, it's ridiculous and they're garbage. The only things that succeed are the things that nobody believed in. Seinfeld tested so badly, they picked up 2 episodes. At the end, Jerry Seinfeld turned down $500 million from NBC to do 1 more year of his show. Like, these are people who steadfastly believed in what they had, knew what they had, and didn't let other people wreck it to sort of make it commercial, right? And so people come to me and they say, well, your cards really should this or really should be that. And some guy just completely told me how to make a deck of cards. He's never made a deck of cards in his life, and it was the ultimate in mansplaining. And he was attacking me because he didn't like my cards. And I was just like, what is happening here? And normally as women, we generally like, oh, okay, just want to acquiesce because we were literally physically built to acquiesce. But no, those days are over. And so I just go, okay, so know who you are, know what you want to make, and know what your North Star is, and don't give up until you really have to. And you know what? You may start here thinking, I'm going to do this origami store. And you're at the origami store and you hate the origami store, but it turns out you're a genius at buying store fixtures, which you never even knew. And the next thing you know, you're helping people buy store fixtures, and that's your career. It's like each thing, little incremental steps. I was at a fair on Saturday and Sunday. It was dead. It was dead. And I just started talking to the woman next to me, and she was like, yeah, this is kind of slow. She goes, you're going to be at this thing on Saturday? And I went, what thing? And she said, there's a big thing over at Studio City at Sportsman's Lodge, and there's a big market. You could probably get in. And I went, oh. And so just by talking to her at a failed event, I got something that's probably going to lead to success. So you just don't know. And you have to take those steps. You got to get out of bed. You got to try it because you don't know what each step is going to lead to. And be prepared to change. Yeah, that origami store was really sweet and cute, and you had the best name ever, Foragami, whatever. And so you were just like, oh man, I'm my origami store. But then you find out you're a freaking badass at shelves. So don't give up, but be open to change as long as it's your change and not some creep with an idea.
I mean, there's so many little tidbits of wisdom right there. I feel like they should all be on T-shirts. So we'll be stealing those later. I want to be respectful of your time. I want to make sure though that we get some of the fun stuff in that I promised. So can we go back to? All right, give us like maybe 3, 4. Was this pitched or overheard at Hallmark or overheard at Playboy? This is a great LinkedIn post, ladies, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun with this.
Samantha and Crystal, did you see this post? Did you play the game?
I did. I didn't want to dig into it too much myself because I was hoping to kind of play the game.
Okay, so did you see the answers?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't. I saw it and I was like, oh, no,
Katie,
go look.
Can you call it up and we'll just play it live? Can you call up the post?
Oh, goodness. Okay. Yeah, let me, everyone stand by. We'll fix this in post.
You can be the game show host.
I know. I will. Okay.
Actually, Katie, you'd be a great game show host.
So fun.
Well, Wendy, I think what you're doing is so important. I think when there is so much fakery out on the internet, I think it's so important to see somebody that's authentic out there and being very open with the messiness of life and doing these things. That's one of the reasons we wanted to do this podcast, was to just be very clear and open about the messy journey that is effing your life up.
And this is my real face. This is my real house. This is my real lighting. My house I do not look like I live in a Williams-Sonoma catalog, so it's like, this is it. This is as real as it's going to get, and I'm not changing it. So, I'm so happy and so grateful that people are getting help and satisfaction and direction from what I'm posting, because I couldn't ask for anything more.
Well, thanks for making LinkedIn fun, because it's usually not
Did you
fun.
find it?
I did find it. All right. So it's easy, ladies. Just, these are things that Wendy overheard while working at Playboy or Hallmark. All right. Some of them are pretty easy and some of them are a little bit head scratchers.
That's right.
All right.
Because everywhere I've worked, I've collected quotes and I've posted them, and the Playboy moments are I have thousands of them and they're ridiculous. But Hallmark had its own special brand of ridiculousness as well. So go ahead.
All right. So first and foremost, the cast needs to be ethnically diverse, blondes and brunettes.
Playboy.
I would have gone with Hallmark. Is Playboy woke
that's
like that?
That's really true, because they both kind of lean toward blondes, right? No offense to the blondes here, but that's actually very wise. It could have been Hallmark if you look at their programming. That's right. It was Playboy, and it was not said with any sense of irony. I said, who do you have for the show? It's like, we have an ethnically diverse blondes and brunettes. I was like, wow. We have various
Amazing.
white girls. Yeah.
All right, was it
All
overheard
right.
at Playboy or Hallmark? You guys, they take siestas in Italy and they live to be like 130.
That's exactly how it was said, by the way. Exactly.
God, I have no idea. Well, the voice makes me want to say Playboy. I
But
know.
it's probably
I need you to
Hallmark.
lock in your answers, please.
Oh,
Locked
shoot. Okay,
in.
Sam.
Locked in, Playboy.
Okay, Playboy.
Hallmark.
Yep.
Hallmark.
And this
Oh
was
my
was
gosh.
like the co-EP of the show, who was, I don't even know. Anyway, I don't want to talk about her. Okay.
My only concern is that this show may be too good for us to air.
That's amazing.
That's
That's
real.
a hard one.
I'm gonna
I
say,
think that's got to be Hallmark.
I like. Do all of the good writers flock to Playboy though? I don't know. I'm gonna go Playboy just to go against you, Crystal. We gotta divide it up here.
It was
Yeah.
Playboy. It was
I
Playboy.
was head of development, and I
uh,
pitched a show, and the guy who was the temporary decider, who used to drive an Aston Martin and would walk into meetings going, "Anybody got any Liquid X?" Like real class act. Also would not look me in the eye because he didn't want to have sex with me, even though I was head of the department. And I pitched a really, really great show, and he was like, "I think this might be too good for us to air." And I was like, "Yeah, we definitely don't want that."
So, Wendy, before we wrap it up and get our final plugs, I do want to, speaking of plugs, twice, ladies, I want this noted in my previous life, I've turned down Playboy.
One of the times was,
First time I turned down Playboy, I was asked to be in the Girls of the Pac-10 episode when I was at Arizona State University. And I turned it down
oh.
because I had just been crowned Fiesta Bowl princess and I didn't want to lose my crown or scholarship. The second time, Wendy, I think this had to have been under your umbrella, quite frankly, now looking back at the time frame. So I wonder if our paths crossed during this conversation. But I went in and talked to Playboy about hosting some of their shows and their content. And at the time, I had been working for Mark Cuban at HDNet, which is now Access TV. But we had this whole night that was called like Guys Night In. And it was, we had like Girls Gone Wild and stuff like that. And so I went over there and I was having this development meeting, and not a lot shocks me, but in the meeting, they did end it with saying, well, you're going to be commenting and being, see a lot of stuff. Are you okay with fisting? And it was one of those things where I'm like, And I did have to circle back and be like, I think I'm okay with fisting, but I am pregnant. So I don't think that you guys want me involved right now. And that's kind of where our conversation ended, because I just had found out I was pregnant.
So for most of that story, thought that it was me, because I do recall offering you a job and I think you turned it down. And but there would never be any sort of fisting or anything that on my show, not on my watch. There would never be. So that must have been.
I mean, I'm okay with it. Not me per se, but whatever floats people's boats,
If
Wendy,
it's
right?
consensual, go ahead. But
consensual. I can see the hashtags already.
If the fisting is consensual,
all right,
go ahead.
I'm officially blushing.
Yeah, but yeah,
let's talk about card to believe in, or these are your cards. And again, this was kind of a spin-off of your own version of tarot
that's right.
cards.
So I created a really cool tarot deck called Atomic Cat Tarot, which is a tarot deck with sort of mid-century modern atomic design. And I launched it on Kickstarter, and it was fully funded in 10 minutes. I was blown away. I was like eating my Cheerios, like. And so I'm a dog lover. I really am a dog lover. And nobody loves you quite like your dog. And so I wanted to tap into that love. And I love affirmation decks. So I thought I'd make a deck of messages from dogs called Affirmations. And so This is brand new. It's actually going to be debuting in Studio City this weekend. So this is what the logo looks like, our formations. And
Oh,
you
so
pull a card
cute.
every day and get messages like this.
Aw, you're the
Yeah.
sunbeam in every nap
They're
spot.
just the most
Oh.
loving, accepting, wonderful, affirming messages from dogs. And every time people pull a card, they're like, oh. And so I feel like now more than ever, we need that. And so you can find all of the stuff that I'm slinging, decks, stickers, whatever, t-shirts at cardtobelieve.com. That's my store. And my books are on Amazon. I've got 2 up there right now, a book about relationships and a book how to bet on yourself. And I have a book on procrastination coming out really soon. I just keep procrastinating.
Oh my
It's
You just can't get to it.
hilarious. The cover is done. I did a final pass through last night. It's actually ready, and so that's going to be released very soon. But if you look me up on Amazon, you can find my books there as well.
incredible.
Well, Samantha,
Wow,
you're
wow.
you're so used to wrapping up our show.
Yeah.
I'm going to officially release you do the things that tie us all together.
Do the things. All right. Well, what we like to do as a way to kind of reinforce the theme of every episode is go around the table and kind of talk about what we've all learned today. So I can go ahead and start. For me, as much as I want to talk about fisting again, I feel like the thing
It's always welcome. It's always welcome here.
the thing that really resonated with me is that I don't have a gay best friend, and I need your deck of cards to be able to have the affirmations from the gay best friend to help me with my direct.
I'll tell you what.
As I head into
Ask me a quick yes or no question, and I'll give you an answer from your gay best friend.
Okay. Should I buy this
I love
new
you.
business that I have in my site?
Is ass on my food pyramid? Yes.
Oh, what does it say?
It says, hold it a little bit closer, Wendy. It says, I'm not wearing my readers.
Is ass on my food pyramid? Yes.
Yes. The answer is yes.
Is ass on my food pyramid. Oh my God. You are killing me. What's this one? To quote Cher, I really don't think you're strong enough. No.
It is 54 of the most hilarious answers written by my gay best friends.
Oh
and I'm almost sold out. I think I have a
That's
deck
so
left.
great.
I'll send it to you.
Oh, thank you so much. All right, Katie, how about you?
Oh, I mean, listen, always bet on yourself. And this needs to be my mantra. I need to put it on a Post-it note. I need to put it on the mirror. I just, I've gone through a big transition in the last year, Wendy, getting laid off from my dream job, struggling with LinkedIn and that it's full of lies, and trying to find my North Star. And as I'm struggling through that, I've stumbled onto some great things working with charities and joining boards. And I think I have my sights on a job. But betting on myself is the thing I need to reinforce every day. So thank you for reminding me that. It's Crystal.
All right. Yeah, Crystal, go for it.
I feel like I had my life changed today.
Oh my
Wendy,
gosh.
I love you so much. But what I think my big takeaway is I need to stop. When you said you're giving power, you gave all this power to those 13-year-olds. I feel like we're giving all this power away to people on social media and judging. And I think I need to stop worrying what other people fucking think of me and stop worrying about being ick or looking ick and just go, just do it. Don't worry.
100%.
Just.
Oh, I also think I learned, ladies, I know we've talked about it. Well, we got to get merchandise. F your life up.
Oh my God, we need merch.
We need it. I know
We
about
need
it. I can get some t-shirts.
Do you know anybody who sells t-shirts?
My husband, he's got a little online shirt shop. He could upload some things. We could do this. Come on.
You can. You absolutely can.
All right. Right. It's betting on ourselves.
Wendy, I think you need to come back in a couple months and just give us another dose.
You guys are very
Wendy.
sweet. And I've had so much fun on this show. Thank you for having me. I learned something today too. And I learned that somebody made a fisting joke and it wasn't me. And I also learned that this is affecting more than just people over 50. It's also affecting people under 50 who are still
Yep.
very much should be at the high earning point of their career. And it's crazy. And so I think the opportunity is out there and it's just wrapped in terror is the only problem. So if you could just unwrap it and see what you can do. Bet on yourself.
Bet on yourself, right?
The only thing that it should be wrapped in is bacon.
Oh my God, yes. Bacon for everyone.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you sharing your wisdom and being here on the podcast. It's been a pleasure. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks you so much. All right. So if you want to find Wendy, you can find her LinkedIn at Wendy Miller. Grab her book, Bet on Yourself. Always bet on yourself. And then grab a set of her cards, Hard to Believe. So follow us on F Your Life Up Podcast and all social media platforms and send us any questions to fyourlifeuppod@gmail.com. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.